Scotty doesn't know how Scott Brooks cost the Wizards a shot at Game 1 against Philadelphia. I worked for Scott Brooks for a season, 7 years in the NBA total. I've talked about some of the issues that he had with the game planning process and preparation before, but let's show you some video examples how Scott Brooks definitively probably cost the Wizards a shot at winning Game 1 in Philadelphia. Scout with Bryan, Instagram, YouTube, the podcast. Let's dive right into the film. First of all, again, playoffs, about attention to detail, right? So you have to, as a head coach, be on top of this. In the NBA, you, with two guys, always go against the bigger offensive rebounder. So the bigger offensive rebounder here between Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons is definitely Ben Simmons. You want them to help out and both go after Ben Simmons. You don't leave Daniel Gafford one-on-one. You want the one-on-one matchup to be against Tobias Harris here because you're pretty confident that Rui can win one-on-one against Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons, you don't want to leave on an island, so you have to have two guys here to pinch him. They have the third guy on the wrong side. Bradley Beal should be on this side here. That's on coaching. You got to pay attention to those things as Ben Simmons is going to get the loose ball foul on the free throw miss. And Dwight Howard obviously is going to miss quite a few free throws. Daniel Gafford, really good. Team high, plus 14. There he is on the follow-up. There he is blocking away the lob to Dwight. Here he is pinning for Bertans and slipping to the rim for the dunk. Was really good. Except, as you can see, 10-0 run basically with him in the game. Huge part of why he was a plus 14. He was really effective out there. But soon after, he'd pick up his second foul. And so Scott Brooks sat him right down on the bench. Second foul for a bench player at the very end of the first quarter when he's thriving and being a huge part of a massive run. Who cares? Let him play through it. He's a bench player. He's not going to get six. Not going to foul out. Instead, they put in the third center, Robin Lopez, who couldn't protect the rim. Got bullied by Dwight Howard. As the game again swung all in the span of a couple minutes, and it certainly couldn't guard Joel Embiid one-on-one. Look at this sequence here. Wizards were up 5 or 6. Philly in the midst of a big run. Washington clearly gassed. Look at Russell Westbrook. This isn't characteristic for him. Just lets Danny Green run right past him in transition for an uncontested layup. That's bad, right? Team makes this to go up 3 against you after you were up 5. You call timeout. Look at the coaches. These are Wizards assistant coaches back here. Watch them both stand up, assuming a timeout's about to be called. Standing. Starting to stand. Except Scott Brooks doesn't call timeout. Everybody's looking at him like waiting for the inevitable timeout here. And he doesn't take it. That's a lack of feel because now shortly thereafter the Wizards have another disastrous offensive possession. Philly gets the ball. Wizards slow again, getting back in transition. Seth Curry hits a 3. And now he's going to take the timeout. Got to be on top of those things earlier. Here's Daniel Gafford again, being a lob threat at the rim, making an impact. But then, less than a minute after, picks up his 4th foul. Once again, who cares? There's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. You can let him play through it. He's not going to get 6 and foul out right here. You're down 5. You need your best player in the game. In the game. Best player this game, probably best center this season. Because again, now we've got Robin Lopez in there. And I like Robin Lopez. You can see a video I did of Robin Lopez up top. I'm a fan of his game. But you know what? He just doesn't really fit in this series. Len, Gafford are their best players to go against Joel and Dwight. Robin Lopez doesn't really fit against Philly. No, Scott Brooks didn't draw this ATO up. This isn't what's supposed to happen on this play, but he deserves some blame for, Robin Lopez still being in the game. 6:30 left in the fourth quarter. Gafford's still on the bench with 4 fouls all this time. And so now Robin Lopez is going to get the ball in the post. And he doesn't have an advantage over Joel Embiid. Yeah, he's a really good post player. He's got a crazy jump hook that goes in somehow, despite everybody knowing it's coming. But Joel Embiid is really hard to move, and Robin Lopez is going to get a shot clock violation here. Wasted possession. Can't have that. You know what else you can't have? Guys matched up poorly. Playoffs, about matchups and attention to detail. Matchups, Davis Bertans, by far the Wizards' worst defender, has a big X on his back. Everybody goes at him. He should be guarding Danny Green, because Danny Green, all he does is spot up and shoot. If anybody can guard that. Seth Curry has a lot more wiggle than Danny Green, as in he can occasionally put the ball down, he can drive, he can get to the rim. Bradley Beal should be on him, Bertans should be on Danny Green. Simple. Instead, Bertans is guarding the wrong guy, the ball handler with much better ball handler, in Seth Curry. So Doc Rivers, very intelligently, right away is going to go basically to the one play he has in his playbook for Seth Curry, who's going to turn the corner and beat Bertans for a layup. Bad matchup. Can't happen. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. Here's Robin Lopez once again. Look at this. Ahead of the defense. You're down 6. Daniel Gafford in the game right here as Embiid totally on the wrong side, falling asleep. Daniel Gafford's running to the rim right here and catching a lob from Russell Westbrook. Robin Lopez, that's not his game, so he's catching it 10 feet out, getting swallowed up and throwing up some crappy left-hand hook. But even with all that, Wizards still had a chance, and all could be forgiven, as they're down 5 with 44 seconds left, if you use your brain and call a timeout here. You've got 2 timeouts left. There's 43 seconds. Use a timeout. Advance the ball. Draw up a play. Get a quick 3 or quick 2. As soon as Daniel Gafford gets this rebound, you should be calling timeout. That should have been automatic, told to the refs even before the free throw. I don't know why in the world he wouldn't do that. And then much less, as Gafford throws the ball out of bounds, now run over and tell the ref timeout. Be jumping up and down. Do jumping jacks to call timeout. He's not even calling a timeout until Russell Westbrook steps out of bounds. And yeah, I know by the replay, whatever, you could say, yeah, maybe his heel didn't touch down. Maybe it was just his toe, whatever. But if you're the official standing right here, that kind of looks like his foot touched out of bounds, and I totally understand how there wasn't conclusive evidence to overturn this. I don't think anybody really is sure whether he actually did touch the line or not there, but the official saw it, and he called it. And again, it all could have been avoided if Scott Brooks calls timeout of the 2 he had left, here or here, before Russell Westbrook falls out of bounds. Ugh. Here I'm probably nitpicking, okay? But you know what? This is just stupid too, okay? You're down 7, 14 seconds left. Yeah, game's probably over. 99.9% you've lost, right? But you see this little dot here? They still have a timeout. You're down 7, 14 seconds left. You don't wave the white flag. You still call timeout, you advance the ball, and you draw up a play for a 3. Because then, by some miracle, you hit a quick 3. You're only down 4 with 11 or 12 seconds left, and you can also tell the team what kind of trap, what kind of press you want to be in, try to force the ball to Ben Simmons, yada, yada, yada. Instead, he again does nothing, so the Wizards going to get the ball up the court much slower, going to get a 2 instead of a 3, going to take 6 seconds off the clock, and now, again, you end up finishing the game with a timeout still. He never ended up using that last timeout. Waved the white flag too early. Poor decision after poor decision down the stretch. Scotty doesn't know. Scott Brooks, a lot of pressure on his job. Will have to prove the Wizards can be competitive in this series. Probably take a game or 2 to save his job. If he doesn't do it, I think a change is needed in DC. Thanks for watching. Make sure you thumb up, subscribe. Scout with Bryan, YouTube, podcast, Patreon.